Okay, good morning, level one online class. How are you today?
Good.
All right, so for all of you people out there in TV land, this is how we have class online. We're using Zoom. It's a wonderful app that is available for free. I have to pay for it because I have more than one person I'm participating with, but everybody else can get the free app. And so just wanted to show you what it's like. Everybody can talk, everybody can hear each other, see each other. So we actually participated in some classes when my children were in school, some online classes. They were really good classes, but um, from Isabella Ernie to everyone. Uh-oh, Isabella, I'm getting messages from you are you typing? They're showing up for the whole class.
They are?
Yeah.
Send it to me.
Okay. Anyway, I was saying that, yeah, you can do chats and everything, which normally we don't have to do unless for some reason somebody's sound goes out, which happens every once in a while. So when we did our online classes, they were just audio, and they were really good classes, but that just kind of, I just can't really relate to people very well unless I can actually see them. And so I really love it that I can see all the classmates and they can see each other. And then another thing that I really like is that we can do this screen share. And so if I want to show them something on my computer, this happens to be a blank Word document, but if I wanted to show them about typing something, typing a heading, everybody can see that. Can everybody see my document?
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay. So Zoom is fantastic. If we have things we need to look at on websites, which we do from time to time, I'm able to take people to websites. Let's see. I'll show you this. This is kind of cool. So this is how we turn in papers online. This is how I get people's papers that are not here. So right now we're working on assignment 10 and 11. Let me minimize this, it's in my way. So you can see that the students have turned in their papers, they've uploaded papers, and we've got a special lesson today. So I have uploaded students' papers to each other's ThinkWave after they've uploaded their own papers because they're going to actually be doing peer editing today. So I gave Wes Isabella's paper, and I gave Isabella Wes's paper. Sarah and Olivia are partners. Madeline and Carolyn are partners, and they're all going to be, they've all printed each other's papers, and they're all going to be not grading each other's papers, but reviewing each other's papers because they're not turning them in today. They've got 2 more weeks to work on this assignment. And so they are going to find out how fun and easy it is to find mistakes in other people's papers. It's way more fun to find other people's mistakes than it is to find your own mistakes. Yeah. And it's super hard to find your own mistakes. And so this is why I always want my students to have an editor. It's usually mom, sometimes it's dad, and occasionally people have an aunt or somebody else, but it's always a good thing to have somebody review your work and make sure you're on the right track and help you catch mistakes you wouldn't otherwise catch. So that's what we're going to be doing in class today in a few minutes. And I'm going to be giving you some instructions here in a few minutes about how to look at each other's papers. We will do that with all of us in the class together, and then once everybody has finished going over the papers, we're going to break off into small groups, and so the pairs can share what they have found. And one thing I am going to ask you to do when you're grading, when you're not grading, when you're reviewing the papers is I want at least one smiley face per paragraph, right? So you're going to be looking not just for things that need to be fixed, but things that you thought that your classmate really did well. I like to put smiley faces on papers when I'm grading, and I enjoy grading the papers so much. And usually there are lots. Hey there, Fallon.
Hi.
Usually there are lots of things I have to praise about papers. And so you all are going to find some things that you can praise in each paragraph. And then you're going to be taking that sheet. Does everybody have their composition checklist printed that I put on the website?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Wes, why don't you hold that up to the screen, right up close so we can see what's on it. So this is a special peer editing form that I made for this assignment. It looks very complicated, maybe to people who haven't done IEW before, but does this look complicated to you guys?
No.
Does it just look kind of like normal, like stuff you're used to, and you know what everything means? And yeah, it's pretty detailed, isn't it?
Mm.
Pretty detailed. And this really shows me how competent you are with your writing, because you know what all that stuff means. And so when you're looking at your classmates' paper, and this is why we don't do this until the second half of the year, because I want you to feel very confident. And at this point, you all are very confident. You have really developed a lot of skills, and you're going to be surprised. That's another point of this exercise, is for you to experience how much you know about writing. I think it's really exciting, and it makes me so happy that you all are able to do this. And the fact that you can do this, this is what allows a lot of my students that want to, not everybody wants to go work in the writing lab at college and make some money as college students, because you know how to review writing, and you know what needs to be in it, and you know how you can help people. You become very competent with your writing. So this is a really exciting time for me to see you be able to do this. Okay, Lucas, did you have you uploaded a paper today?
No, I just have the few more dress up to the last paragraph.
Okay, well, I can look over your paper whenever you get that uploaded. I've got everybody else in pairs, so let's see. Now let's look at the peer editing checklist together really quickly. And for people out there and watching that are interested in how we do this, the writing classes online, also the local classes get the same book. We have a handbook, and at the back of it is all the assignments and all the checklists that they need for the whole year. So I've just sent them an extra copy, and that's what they're going to be using. So let's look at the checklist that I printed off, that you printed off. Did everybody get the checklist printed that I sent? Everybody?
Yes.
Okay, it's on page 217 if you didn't, but you're going to need to print it if you didn't print it, because after you get to going over your partner's papers, you're going to, after class, you're going to scan them and upload them back to your ThinkWave, and I will pass them back to your partner. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So, all right. So the first part we're going to be looking at, this is how I grade papers when I grade them. I read all the way through the paper first. I don't mark anything. What I want to find out is what's there, okay? And then I go back through and I check the things that are at the top of the checklist, which are the structure elements. And I check for those things. And then I go back through and I check for the style. right? And I've got pretty fast at it. So when you first start doing this for somebody else, it might not be quite as fast. All right, so what you're going to be looking for under structure is the body. I want you to check and see if your teammate stayed in present tense. Who had a hard time with staying in present tense? Was it challenging?
I did. My mom and I had to go back, and it was so hard. We had so many words that were in past tense. My mom's like, "Oh my gosh!" She's like,
Okay.
Okay.
That's just something really different that you just have to learn how to do when you're writing about literature. And so that's one of the reasons we do this. It's just different, isn't it? The first body paragraph, which will be paragraph 2 when we get finished, but of course right now it's the first body paragraph, is going to describe the characters and settings. And I want you to check and make sure that they stuck to that story chart part, okay? The second body paragraph is going to describe the conflict. What's the conflict in the story?
A problem.
Yes. Lucas, what do you say the conflict is in the story?
The problem that the protagonist is having.
Okay, and what is that problem? Somebody tell me. Lucas.
Alf Davis cannot get back to his boat because the sampan men refused to take him without pay.
Exactly. Okay. So that'll be at the beginning of that paragraph. And then all the things Alf does to try to solve his problem. And then the climax of that story is where he decides to what?
jump in the ocean.
Yes, to take himself out or jump in the ocean and swim back to the ship or whatever. All right. I'm not going to worry about the keyword outlines. I didn't tell y'all to print those up. When you get down to the style, you know what all the style is. If the literature words are not bolded, and you see some that are not bolded, then you'll put a box around them so your teammate will remember to go back and bold them, okay?
Okay.
Right? Okay, so I'm going to leave y'all here in class to work quietly on your teammate's paper. And then we will, once everybody's done, then or when you and your teammate are done at least, we'll break up into, you'll leave this meeting and go meet with your teammate, okay? Does anybody have any questions right now? No? Okay. All right. Well, anyway, that's the end of this recording. It's not the end of class, but I just thought you might like to see how we do it online. And really, it's the same way we do it in the local classes. Exactly the same, except we're looking at each other on video instead of in person. So, okay, I'm turning off the recording now. Y'all get started.